everybody. Happy Sunday.
Hello. Oh, we're live.
Yeah, we're live.
Hi, friends.
We're doing
How's it going,
this.
guys?
So,
Hi.
happy Sunday.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Bravely Fit. I am your favorite Minx, Sully.
And I'm Asha Zoo.
Okay.
Ooh. We're still getting all our technical.
Yeah.
All the
This
technicalities.
is what happens when it gives the talent a job to do.
All right. So, last week
Yep.
was our first live.
Yes.
And
Live
it
streaming.
went amazing. It went great. Super happy with it.
Yeah.
And in part of that live, I'm hot. There's always stuff that happens when I'm here. My hair pokes out 1 second. All right. So with the last episode, we were talking about a part of the conversation was about seasonal blues.
Yep.
And it hit me hard, and I had to go back to my support system. And part of that support system is this guy right here.
Yes.
This is Steve.
How you guys doing?
He is the owner, creator of STICELIFE Fitness. And we have been on a journey, I think, since 2018. I think that's when you started.
2017.
17?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow. So a lot longer. And when I need to be uplifted, this is the guy that I go to, especially when it comes to fitness. He is very knowledgeable. He's awesome. And yeah, let's give you the floor.
Thank you. Name is Steven. Most people know me by Coach Stice or Stice. And I've been doing fitness for 27 years. My experience is, as far as when I started, I was 12 years old when I started. And had a gym teacher, I'll never forget, his name was Mr. Magarachi, and he brought me into, it was a basketball court, but it was like the end of the basketball court had this little door, and I was just wondering what it was at one time, and this guy was jacked. And he's like, well, no, come over here and I'll show you. And we walked in there, and it was an old school like gym setup with like an old pulley system and all that. And he just
Like
showed
the
me around.
ropes?
Yeah, but it had all like the machine connected to it. It was like a Smith machine, but it was all connected together, and it had a bench press, it had a bunch of stuff, a lat pull down, and he just showed me a couple of things, and I just always wanted to look like him because he looked like an action figure. And that's really what started me, and then also getting into sports and things like that got me really into the whole fitness.
I love that.
Never stopped.
I remember in 7th grade, we had it was called the fitness club. And the principal, like, you just kind of sparked a memory because the principal wanted to, I guess, get us all together. And if you guys see my daughter, she has like a natural muscle tone. So I was the same way. Like, she gets that from me. Like, I'm a queen. And he created this fitness program where after school, we will stay in the gym, and we had like little 2-pound dumbbells. He made us do push-ups. And that was when I really feel like that was when he put that in our heads, where it's like fitness is mental health, because even back then I was struggling, you know.
Absolutely.
So that's amazing. I love how it's somebody from the school that steps in.
I mean, and to say, I'm glad that I started at that age, because a lot of people say there's levels to this, and it's so true. There's so many levels to fitness. Most people look at it as the physical, right? We all want a goal of having that dream body, but you don't realize the first benefits that you get from actually exercising is that all-around energy that you get, that good feeling, the drive to do other things, and then obviously the physical comes in. But those benefits just continue to multiply over the years after doing it and doing it and doing it. And now, like, when people ask me, what do I look for, right? Because I'm physically fit and I'm at this place in my life where what is the next thing that you want, right? You have the body that you want, and it's more of like finding out more talents that I have, finding out more benefits that I can get from being so consistent and dedicated in something that I love. Mm-hmm. And that's really where I'm starting to learn more. I'm like, my body almost tells me what to do if I really pay attention to it. And I watch a lot of my old videos and things like that, and where I went in a direction there, and I could just see where I've progressed and what I benefited from and all those things like that. And now watching my clients, like, I can spot a mistake just by watching a movement. I can see where the tension is just by watching where their arm and leg is, and I can almost feel their pain just because they're doing something wrong or out of position.
And that came with experience, though. That was, or do you think was like a natural knack for you to see that?
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
I think attention to detail is just something that I really pay attention for. I always do with whatever I do. But as far as really seeing where they're wrong and what muscle they're actually hitting, that definitely comes from experience and doing it over and over and over and over and knowing what it should feel like, where it should be. And I mean, everyone's body is different, but where you pull and how you pull and the position that you're standing in and all of that can isolate a muscle so much. And I think people don't isolate as much, and they invite so many other muscles thinking that they're doing this exercise right.
Oh, that makes sense. And then that's where the mind to muscle connection comes in.
Yeah.
But that's hard to teach and learn.
You have to know
You have to know
when you get there, you have to understand what you're actually doing, right?
Yeah, I don't know. The mind to muscle, I'm like, I think this is this muscle. So I'm like trying to concentrate, meditate into it. And I'm like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just ask the trainer.
Well, the mind to muscle connection for a beginner that doesn't understand how to get to mind to muscle connection, it's really about, and when I teach it in my program, I try to exhaust the average person in their beginning sets, right? Because when you exhaust the body, you put it under this stress, so it has to pay attention, for those next reps. It has to be like, all right, we need to tighten down on certain areas and we need to do this. And now I'm really going to go and I'm really going to focus on the movement that I'm doing at that time. That's really when you get the connection, because now your muscle is sore wherever you're working. Let's say just chest and you're doing presses. If I made you do 30 reps of chest presses with dumbbells, and then the next, I only let you rest maybe 15 to 20 seconds, and then I make you do it again, you're going to be struggling, but you're also going to connect better as far as where the pain is coming from, how you're feeling it out, and that's the first steps of connecting with that muscle.
I lived it. That's why I'm laughing over here. Like, yeah, he's explaining. Like, we struggle.
Wait, I have a question. So how do you? Because not everybody understands the same. So how are you adapting to, let's say, if you have the same cue for both Ash and I, but Ash understands it differently than I, how are you able with your clients to give them cues so that they understand it? Like I need, like when I'm doing my squats, my coach will give me the cue, brace your core. Instead of saying that to me, he should have said, pretend that you are trying to fart or poo. That's like
so
that push. You know what I mean? Like that's those are the types of cues, because that's something that I have done in my life. So when I'm like, oh, okay, so which has then led to a blooper video where I farted.
Oh God.
That is funny.
Wait, so that is a way to brace. I'm like bracing right now, like. That makes sense. I like that.
Yeah.
I like peacock chest. Peacock chest. Like
pride
chest
chest.
out.
Proud chest. Yeah.
That way it's like, because we tend to.
Oh, we were just doing it. We were hunching, and when you peacock, corrected your posture. Shoulders back and down.
That's the part, back and down.
Back and down.
I give cues, and I do. It depends on the client, right, and what kind of relationship I have with them. But it's a younger kid or let's say someone that's kind of like, they don't take things so serious. I'll kind of joke with them and be like, just grab a seat on the toilet, man.
Yeah.
Just like you're doing whatever, not to be rude, but. And they get the point of it. But now, more so, I almost forcefully set up something that they can't get it wrong. So, for instance, for the person that doesn't know how to squat, I don't have them just get under a bar. I put a box underneath them. I have them sit down, and I put the bar on their back. So they could feel what it feels like down there first. And then I tell them to just stand up, like if they were to get up out of bed. And usually that's when you put your feet down, and you usually just do it right naturally. It's almost like a string's pulling you from the chest, and then you come up. And now you have the bar behind your back. And then I tell them, now control that on the way down. And usually that's just how it happens. And then I just lower the levels. And then eventually it's like training wheels on a bike.
Right.
I just take the box away and it just moves naturally.
So I like that part of his classes, he will explain before we even start. He goes from and I want you to explain your classes after this because they're awesome. Before the day starts, he goes to each station and shows you what we're gonna do, the proper way to do it. So he'll sit there and say, "This is what I want you to do. Make sure your shoulders are down, chest is tight. You're gonna keep your elbows here. You're gonna push down." Like he describes it like point by point, and he will go through the entire set. And then when it's time to go, you pick your partner. You guys are on the station, and then we rotate with a 30-second. Well, you could explain it, but with a 30-second break, and you're like that for the entire class. So I know he has a better way of explaining it, so I'm gonna let you explain it. But explain what STICE Life classes are like because they're phenomenal. They work.
Okay. So, do we want to know what the classes are, or should we talk about STICE Life?
You let me know.
What do you want?
I think
we're gonna do both.
Yeah, we're gonna do both.
So let's talk about STICE Life first.
Yeah, because you mentioned that. That's I think the first time in the show that you mentioned STICE Life. So let's talk about what STICE Life is.
Okay, so STICE Life is what it stands for is strategy, transformation, important criteria, embodied.
Acronyms. Wait, go down. Wait, strategy. Next
transformation.
Important.
Criteria. Embodied. Right, so because you embody this.
Yes.
What I'm not just teaching you. This isn't like a boot camp that you're coming in and you're just gonna break a sweat and all that. I want to teach people actually what they're doing, and I want to teach them how to properly work out so that one day when I'm not there, they can do it and know exactly what they're targeting, what they're supposed to feel, and how they can go about it, and how many directions you can work this muscle out. I'm teaching you. STICE Life came about because I saw there was something wrong in the gym industry. I saw something wrong that I'm sure most view and most see it, but no one really does anything about it. And I think it's the average person doesn't know how to exercise properly. They go into a gym and they automatically run to a treadmill, an elliptical, a cardio piece of equipment, and that's because they're intimidated by the weights, the crowd, whatever it can be, right? And it's usually, and they don't know what they're doing. So they know how to run, they know how to use a bike, and that's very simple to just start. So that's why they do that. And that usually starts them up with losing weight, right, as they consistently do. But they never get to their goal body because they actually have to do resistant band training. They have to do weight training. They have to do a bunch of other things. Calisthenics are really good also, besides the cardio. The cardio is a very good thing, but they also need to do those things. And when they start doing those things, what's the first thing they do? They join a class because they hope that the person there is teaching them what they want, right? Getting bigger biceps or triceps or chest or glutes or whatever it may be. And those classes aren't provided. A boot camp is going to give you your complete body workout, and it's not going to benefit. It's going to benefit you getting tighter, but it's not going to benefit what you're looking for, the look that you want, or the feeling that you're going to get, or the exhaustion that you should have on your muscles. It's also not going to give you the knowledge that you should know as how to work out. You show up, let's say, you walk into the boot camp class, you're just a number. They don't know you there. They don't know that you come every day or whatever it may be. It doesn't matter. So what I did was I have a bodybuilding background, and I also, trainer and all of that. And I've been doing this for so long. I was like, why not teach them how I work out in a group setting and educate them on how to exercise so that they not only get all of those things, but now they know how to do it for themselves.
Right.
And I think that's the most important thing, and that's why I started this program 7 years ago, and it just clicked. I guess we'll start from the beginning.
Right? Yeah, sure. What are your certifications in? Let's start that.
Well, I got a regular certification as a trainer, and I started that, and that started. I don't know, I was 18 at the time.
Yeah, I remember you saying 18.
Yeah. And I never really used it. And then I just worked out and worked out. And then I became a trainer when I was about an actual certified trainer. I got a NASM certification, and then I started training at the JCC in Tenafly, the Jewish Community Center. which was great for me because the clientele there was senior citizens, so they were mostly 70 and above, and it forced me, it forced me to learn how to, you know, time under tension, have patience. And,
Patience is a big one.
They move a little slower.
and,
Just
and a lot of therapy, like a lot of resistant band training, and a lot of
So that's where the resistant bands come from. It's excellent.
It's a lot of therapy that you have to do with you know, senior citizens, and you have to be delicate in how they do certain things because, you know, they're delicate. But so it forced me to really learn about that area of fitness, which I wasn't really planning on. And then when I did, it opened up a whole new door on what I wanted to do. After that, I started working on my social media, and I ended up getting someone DMing me from Hasbrook Heights 24-Hour Fitness. And this lady by the name of Michelle, she was the manager over there, and she looked at my Instagram. She loved what I was doing, and she asked me if I wanted to become a trainer over there.
Okay.
So I said, yeah, let's go. I checked it out, and I got hired. And within I'd say a couple of months, I became one of the top trainers over there. I had about almost 40 clients at one time.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a lot. Yeah, it was a lot.
And that
It was
wasn't
a full
group
day.
training. That's
wasn't-
individual training.
That was individual
Yeah.
because I didn't even think of classes at the time. You know, I was just thinking about, let me get all these clients, let me do this. And, you know, I was at that time prepping to do a show for myself for bodybuilding, right? So I was like in prep as well. So I did that, and I also started I had a thing with all my clients that they had to follow me on social media, and I had stories. I put them in, I put each member in a group chat where we would build accountability and all that. And it started to work out really well. So from there, that's how that blossomed. And I'll explain that later once we get into that. But moving forward, not to make it long, I ended up finding this gym in Elmwood Park called Achieve 24, and they were looking for an instructor. They were a CrossFit gym at that time, and I went over there. They offered salary, so it was different for me. So I was like, okay, let's do it. They had CrossFit classes, but for, like I said, beginners. And these were people that they've never worked out, or were coming off of an injury, or just wanted to, you know, hopefully get their goal body. And they were getting movements like CrossFit movements that were it was too advanced, or it was just too much for a certain person and stuff like that. So I asked the general manager at that time if I could try something. And he's like, go ahead, if it works and you think it's gonna do well, then let's go. So I ended up building stations, and I ended up having a format how I train myself. On Monday, I like to touch up the whole body because I believe over the weekend most people make mistakes. So I like on Mondays, we wake up the body. So it's a boot camp. So you do a full, complete body workout to wake up the body to get ready for the whole week of what we're gonna do, right? So
That's Monday.
That's
That's
Monday.
Monday.
I already know. She already told me.
that's Monday, and then Tuesday I do chest and back. So I do a class. Now I'm getting a good amount of people per class. So we're talking about 20 to 22 people per class. So I have to set up accordingly to that. Before, I just would set up 6 stations. Now I'm setting up around 12, 14 stations. So each station has an identical exercise. It has, let's say for chest, the first one's going to be decline push-ups off of a box. And every exercise you're going to be doing for a minute on, and then you have 35 seconds rest in between to get to the next station. But you can work out side by side, like you and Ashley would be at the station doing the same exercise. So I added that like that because naturally we're competitive. So
Yeah.
and I also did it in time instead of reps because I saw that CrossFit and a lot of these programs do numbers, right? Do 65 pull-ups or do this. And I said, look, I love people, but you can't trust them. You know, you can't tell someone to go and do 65 push-ups or whatever it may be, and they come back to you and said, yeah, I did them all. You can't believe that, because they'll get to 30 and be like, I got them all.
Bye.
You know what I mean?
That's it for me.
I don't feel like doing this.
Yeah, but if you give them a time and you have them set up next to their friend, they'll get to 65 because they're going to try to outshine you.
Okay.
You
Wow,
know?
that's hard. I mean, like
That-
smart but horrible at the same time.
But also at the same time, it's like, so it depends on who your partner is, because there are times I'm like, oh, I can't do this, and then I have my friend Evelyn like, no, pick it back up.
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah, you
finish it.
can.
Come on, you got
You
this.
got
And I'm like,
this,
all right,
yeah.
right. You know, so it's a great concept.
So that was the beginning, right? And then teaching them the body part. But after doing sorry, I'm like, I have all this stuff that I want to say.
It's in here.
Yeah. So Tuesdays chest and back, Wednesdays arms and abs, and Thursdays leg day. The format, the structure has always been the same for 7 years, but the class has never been the same. You have never hit.
How do you come up with enough variations of an exercise so it's not the same every week?
That's a great question. That's why I never write anything down. It's all that I like to go in.
Dreams.
I do.
No, seriously. So he'll come to class and be like, I had a dream about this and we're going to try it. And we're like, oh, here we go.
Sometimes
Like,
it
oh
works,
my
sometimes
God,
it
what
doesn't.
now?
Yeah. So I'll go in an hour before the class, and I'll view the room, and depending on the day, I'll think about what I wanted to do or what I did previously and what they did last week. I'll look at the video and I'll try and change and not do movements that I did last week. But sometimes I don't even have to look at the video, to be honest with you. I just feel it out and I remember movements, what Ashley did last Thursday or what Jacob did last Thursday, and I remember certain things, and I just never write it down. It just comes fresh.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, it's like, I love this. I tell you, if you were to ask my wife, every night I study. Every night I'm watching. Last night, I worked until 3 a.m, but I didn't go to sleep until 7. And that was because I was watching one of my favorite trainers that I can really relate to. And he was on a podcast, and I was watching him talk about certain things in fitness, and I can agree with him on all of those things. And it's so true, because that guy understands where I'm coming from as far as how the body works and the muscles and the contractions and the angles and the time under tension and all that. Mm-hmm. So let me go back into the whole STICE Life thing so that I can explain why certain things are done a certain way.
Okay.
The reason for the minute is obviously I just told you, because I want you to get to that point where you can exhaust the muscle and really make a mind and muscle connection. The 35 seconds, it was really 30 seconds that I had it started, and I just added another 5 seconds to give them a little bit more, because I think the advancement of the class throughout the years has increased. Yeah. So 30 seconds is the ideal time that you want when you put a muscle under stress, where it doesn't recuperate completely, but it recuperates just enough so that you can get to that next exercise and still feel it to make that connection again.
Okay.
When you give that muscle more time, let's say 1 minute, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, you fully let it not fully because it's still broken down, but you've let it get back to having that full energy. So let's say if I gave you 20s and I told you, you have the minute to do 20 dump with the 20s curls, right? You would do how many ever, let's say 30, right? And I gave you a full 2 to 3 minutes of rest, you can go back and then do another
again.
But
Right.
if I gave you only 35 seconds or 30 seconds, you wouldn't get those 20 reps. You would only get 15, but those last 5, you would really push.
Right.
And that's where the growth happens.
Because you're pushing to failure.
Correct.
Okay.
So I also set up the stations, and I'd set up the stations, what the exercise that comes next, kind of like it all moves in one piece, right? So you would do decline push-ups, and then I would have you on an incline chest press, so that you would activate both the lower part of your pec with the upper part of your pec in 2 different movements, and you're already exhausted. So you're connecting the whole time there with the muscle. You still don't understand it yet because you're still a beginner. But after doing this for a while, now you're going to understand, because your body's telling you. And naturally, you're going to get a pump. you're going to feel good, and all those things. You're going to start paying attention more, and that's what in the industry we call you got bit by the bug, you know, and then that's
We
where
definitely got bit by the bug.
that's where the obsession comes in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I love it when I see it in people because they're just so excited.
Yeah.
And they're like, they feel like they're a whole brand new person. And it's like, you have no idea how many levels you have to this, and it's like, I'm excited for you. I tell them, I'm like, I'm excited for you. You have no idea.
But that was like after the first when I came back after the class, I called Sully and oh my god,
She was so
I feel great. I was like one of those chihuahuas. I couldn't stop. I was like, yes, we gotta keep going. So it definitely makes it good.
Yeah. No, I loved how your attitude was when you.
Yeah, I needed it.
Yeah,
but you explained to me something on the phone, and before I forget, it's more okay. You said something about the 30-second break, and what were we talking about? But you mentioned less chances of a heart attack. Like you were talking about the cardio part.
Oh, cardiovascular.
With the breaks and.
So I have in every one of my classes, there's always a station that has an interval station, right? Whether it depend from the years it used to be the rope. It's the now it's the fan bike, the assault bike.
Oh, I hate the assault bike.
And I also.
But the assault bike, is that the one that you just?
No, it's literally the arm.
The arm.
Oh,
you're on the bike
that one.
doing,
Okay.
Yeah.
It's either, I always have a station that has something that we're going to do a high intensity, because I believe also that you need to spike up the heart. So you have to spike up the heart rate and bring it back down.
Okay.
So I always have high intensity, and that's really, and just like I was saying, the reason for that is so that I can exhaust you even more, so you can connect even more. So every lap that you do in the day that we're doing, you know, chest and back Tuesday, you're going to hit a station that has an interval. So even when you're just starting to like come back up and you're like, oh, I'm feeling good, I'm going to wear you out on that bike. And then you're going to go back around and you're going to connect even better and better and better. You don't know what's happening. I do. And then you come back to the bike and I'm going to wear you out again as 4 laps. So I set up the class that all the stations go out. It's like an L shape right now, the gym, but it goes in a circle, right? And just like how I would work out, I do 4 sets of everything. They're going to do 4 laps. Yeah. And in 4 laps, they're doing 4 sets of every exercise. And that's how it works out. And then the class is over. And it's usually an hour if we start on time.
If we start on time. No, so in the cardio section, he's leaving out a very, very, very big part where we're all like... You have 5 seconds to give it your all. So he will count you down. He goes, in 5, and then he's counting down where you have to like give your all to that cardio, and then you take your break and continue like your regular.
So it's 5 seconds, but it's really 10. I tell them it's 5, but it's really 10.
You just shared a secret.
There's a secret. That's why I told people that doing classes is important. That you watch this.
I didn't get dinged.
Is there a ding for that little comment that Ash,
we have a thing where we're not supposed to curse, and I'm like, ooh.
I'm trying to think. Oh, so by the way, while we're dinging, don't forget to like, follow, and share. Yeah,
ding, ding,
I
ding.
remembered.
The good thing.
Do it now.
The intervals that I do is they take 10 seconds. So what I'll do is I'll go, usually when you get on the bike, I give you a couple of seconds, like 5 seconds, and I go on 3, 2, 1, we're gonna go.
Go. You'll hear him in the video.
So it's the hype.
Yeah.
It's the
and I'm
hype
loud.
too.
He's very loud.
And I talk ish, you know. Yeah. But it's always good. I'm never not a positive kind of reinforcer. Like I always talk positive, and I'm always telling you this is what can happen if you do this. Okay. You need to push. Okay. But I also like talking ish is what I mean. Like I give you reality. You know what I mean? If this doesn't happen, this is where you're going. Mm-hmm.
But that's accountability. That's important.
Yeah.
It's like you're not a real friend if you're saying you'll be fine. No, you're not going to be fine. Get up, do the work. You know, like that's what he does, and that's important. It's not being bad or nice or whatever. It's
I just give it to you real, you know. And I mean, I can't get everyone to want to stay in the class. You can't, and that's fine because it's not for everyone.
Right.
You know, it's for the person that's really wants that body, really wants to get to that goal, really wants to start seeing differences not only physically but mentally. Right. You know, because really it does. I mean, it saves lives. It does. It saved my life. You know, and like I think that was something that I was going to tell you when we were when we were talking the other day. You know, I'm glad, and I teach these movements, and I have them in all my classes. I call them the life or death situation movements: the push up, the pull up, the squat.
Yes.
You know, and you have to know those things. And I think in order to get to the bigger things, where it's like where you're doing, let's say Bulgarian split squats, or you're doing anything where it's like an accessorized exercise with like certain bands or anything like that, you need to master and understand the basics. You can't just jump into other movements and think you're going to get them down with balance and all of that.
Yeah.
If you haven't done that for your own body weight, you know, if you don't know how to do a proper push-up, or if you don't know how to do,
we talked about this.
How to connect with the muscles in your back in order to get a pull-up. I mean, you're never going to fully understand other exercises because your body you haven't even started doing it on yourself to understand your own body weight. How are you going to take on more?
Right.
You know?
That's a great point.
And that's really what I teach. And I also say, like, your PR is not written on your forehead. Dude, I can bench 500 pounds.
I want mine written on.
You know what I mean? Like, no, because I have like a lot of
250.
guys that'll go like, "What's your bench press?" And it's not
Right.
about the bench press. To me, it's not. I don't care about a number, and I don't max on things like that. That's great for the people. And don't get me wrong, powerlifters. This is nothing to take away from them or anything like that. But it's not written on your forehead, dude. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter when you walk through the grocery store. You look like a regular guy because you're not in shape. You're not. You know, you're out of shape, and yeah, you can bench press 500 pounds, but if I threw you off a cliff, could you do a pull-up?
Yes.
And that's the question. No. Can
And the
I?
endurance.
Absolutely.
And the endurance,
Yeah.
Can you
Can you keep up?
Can you run?
Like I had, even when I was working out, because I don't want to mention any names over here on gyms, but even when I was working at this gym just recently in Saddlebrook, I had I started
narrowed it down.
I started over there about like 3 years ago, and within the first year, I had car issues. I live about 5 miles from there. I did the time, 5 miles one way, and I had car situation. My wife's like, "We'll just take an Uber," and I'm like, "That could be expensive, you know,
Yeah.
That'll add up quickly.
every day for the amount of classes that I was teaching over there, you know." So I was like, "No, I'm gonna walk." With 50 pounds of equipment. So I was doing 10 miles a day.
Oh, wow.
And I did that for 3 months until I could get my car fixed and all those things. But that's because I've built myself to be like, "Look, dude, we're just going to have
can
to
do this,
suck."
yeah.
Exactly. It's not, and like I was getting to that story, I got, during the pandemic, you know, it was right before the pandemic, I got the flu, and then I also got, pneumonia, you know, and I got it really bad where I was hospitalized for 2 weeks. And I mean, both of my lungs were filled. I had to learn how to walk. I had to do all these things.
Wow.
But if I couldn't actually press my own body weight from my bed and pull myself up and all those things, the therapy could have lasted, the recovery could have lasted so much more longer, you know, because they were asking me to get up on a walker and do all these things, and I didn't have any mobility in my legs. So it was really just my upper body strength. Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I teach those things, because it's happened to me where I can only use a certain body
And that was
part.
recent.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
very recent.
So I'm like, you know, I'm grateful for those things, but I also want to put people in position for that. Why start getting ready? Stay ready for when things hit the fan. You
And
know
the
what to
recovery
do.
time is quicker because your
Absolutely.
body's at that prime, you know?
And that's really what it is, you know. Just teaching the average person how to stay ready, what to feel for, and what to learn from what I'm trying to explain. Hopefully, you know, I can get as many people as I can, and that's really what my goal is. It's not really. I'm just tired of people not understanding the amount of talent that is left inside of you that you haven't even tapped into.
Yeah.
Because you don't even feel good. Because you don't know what you can do if you had the ability to jog, or the ability to go up 3 stairs of flights, but you're out of shape and too lazy that the elevator broke, so you're just going to come back next week when they fix it, and you missed a job opportunity. You missed all these things that can happen. And I just think a lot of people are, you know, we're losing out on a lot of talent and hidden talent from people not working out properly, you know.
Do you feel that your clientele varies with ages and with gender? Like, do you feel like the women are more into it, and what age group? Because like that's because Ash and I are obviously in two different age groups. So I love that we are still this close, even though there's this huge gap.
Well, classes, right, in general it's a female-driven business. You know, mostly women do classes. Not that men don't do it, but it's just, we're guys. So we're like, we're not going to do that class because, it's all women and blah, blah, blah. But that's another thing that I saw. And it is different with age and all of that. But I think after you get out of college and all those things and you mature a little bit more, right, you don't really care about who's teaching the class or what kind of class. It's more about your own. You're out of that and you want to get in shape. So it doesn't, for women, I think women are a little bit more mature, right? Men, it takes us more time to be like, all right, I really need this class or I really need to do this, and that's another thing that I saw that was going on in the industry. Not that many men are teaching classes, It's mostly a female-driven thing, and that there's nothing wrong. But for me, it's like, who's teaching the class, right? It's not so I can care less if it's a man or a female, because I think there's incredible instructors that are females. But for me, it's, are you in shape? Are you teaching me what you look like? Because the reason why I'm in here, yes, it's a spin class, but you look awesome. Yeah. And I know if I do what you're doing, I could possibly one day look like you, if not better. And that's how I should feel when I get in your class. And now if you're out of shape, it's not going to be the same. And that's where I saw, like, in the classes, it was mostly female driven, and not that they don't care, but it's just more of like, it was a job, it was more of going, let's teach these classes, the Zumba, let's make it fun, and let's do this and dance. And,
I hate the
and it was
classes.
more of like the good playlists and all that. And I was just like, we need a guy in here so that, other guys can relate to. And that's where I'm seeing my classes. It really makes me happy to see more men in my classes now. Yeah. And it's almost,
and you do have a nice array. Yeah, you have a nice array.
Classes, yeah.
Another question. So, like, do you feel that your clients, we start getting judgy of like, so there's, it's just an example. It's not a true story. So, at the gym that I go to, we share the grounds, right? And there's this other class that's going on, and like, we'll sit there. Okay, I'll sit there. It's a true story, sorry. And I'm like super judgy. I'm like they are doing, I guess, their version of a HIIT class, but like.
Yeah, and you know what it is? That's all on the instructor. That's all on the trainer, and that's that's why you're judging it based on how you've been trained and how you understand the movement and things like that. And then you also see it from a beginner's point. You're like, oh, well, she didn't really do it right, and she didn't really do this and that. And that's normal. That's natural. We're gonna do that no matter, even if you do it right or not.
Okay, because I feel a little bit bad. I mean, it's fun at the time, but it feels like those reels. Have you guys seen the reels that they're making fun of the Kardashians work out?
I haven't seen it.
You haven't seen it?
That's
You know?
Kardashians. I do. I know.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I just watch like,
I think it's hysterical. But, you guys have to see this if you have not.
She's like a well-known trainer.
Who is the Kardashian?
The one that trains the Kardashians.
So why is she not correcting what they're doing?
It's a very controversial thing.
How controversial could it be?
With everybody else being too scared to talk about it.
I'm not too scared. You guys look like idiots.
It's just the movements. I feel like it's just those simple things with the put your shoulders down, lock your elbows in, control the weight going down and back up. Yeah. Control.
Yeah. But it looks like they're not doing any. They're doing nothing while doing something. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's all for social media.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about that.
Okay.
F that. I want to say it so bad, but I'm looking right at Marv. I'm giving you eye contact right now. I'm controlling myself.
Yeah. We can.
Social media.
We can.
Review what?
That video? Oh, can we
boy.
please put that up there?
Yeah, I want to see this.
He's got to see this.
Go ahead
All right.
if you could find it.
Yeah.
But
Are you kidding?
Sally's gonna have to find it. But it's just social media and working out. That's like a big untapped discussion that a lot of people have because there's so many people with high follower accounts doing the wrong stuff.
Absolutely.
And I sent you something where I'm like, what is she doing?
Yeah.
And you were like, not the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, and they have, like, it's dangerous. It's getting to the point where it's dangerous where people are working out and saying, do this, do that. You're going to hurt yourself.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I always see that in the gym. It's funny. I can spot out the people that are doing these movements at the gym.
With their tripods.
It's obvious that you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you just follow this off of like an Instagram account. And I mean, you can't correct them because that person will get upset that you said something to them. So you got to just let it be.
I mean, sometimes I correct people. Like, I'm trying to, like, if I see beginners coming in and you see, you could tell when they're looking around, like, what do I do? And then, and it was something simple with the, the Smith machine, how it has the safety hooks on the bottom. Mm-hmm. And I'm watching this girl squat and she's putting weights on and she's like, oh, I feel it hurts in my back a little bit. And I'm just watching her like, do I say something? Do I mind my business? I'm like, you know what? Fuck it.
Oh,
sorry.
She said it.
Sorry, Marv.
Ding,
I'm
ding,
sorry.
ding,
Ding me. Ding it. It's necessary for this because so many people are afraid to say something. Say it. So I told her, I said, hey, look, do you mind if can I step in and help you for a second? And of course, that was the day I had shorts on, had my tank tops. I'm like, all right, I look good. So maybe she'll take my advice, with ease or grace. And I showed her, I said, look, and I took time out to show her where I'm like, take these bars and put it up because you have nobody to spot you and you're going to hurt yourself. And then that's when I showed her how to brace your core. I showed her put your shoulders down and back, put your chest up, and then squat this way because you're going on your tippy toes. You can't go on your tippy toes. She was like little things like that. She was a beginner, complete beginner, and she wanted to work out.
Oh, that's so dangerous.
So so that's why I was like, I have to say something. Not that I'm like the top personal trainer or whatever. We're studying for it, but it's just, I feel like that's where my morals kind of came in, where I'm like, no, like, you're going to hurt yourself. Let me help you.
Oh, but at least you have the gumption to do that. I don't know if I would. Like, I'm
not afraid of rejection. I'm like, all right, my bad. Like, I can say, I'm sorry, and walk away, and I'll mind my business for the rest of the day. Like, I'm good with stuff like that. I'm okay with people saying, who does she think she is? Ashley. And it's just, I know when I try to correct somebody or speak to them, it comes from the heart. It's never from a place of, maybe I can make you a client. Like, no, it's just, let me help you for a second and then I'll mind my business for the rest. Okay. But it's just, I think it's important to correct people. If you see them at the gym, like even just stepping in like, hey, do you mind? I noticed this, and it's just, this will, like so I did a deadlift video and her trainer reached out to me like, same thing, like, hey, I just have a few pointers. I'm like, sure, let's hear it. And he did a video where he was like, I noticed your knees turn in. I noticed this. I noticed that. Focus on that because that's going to hurt your lower back. So I stopped doing the deadlifts. I went back to basics. And then now my deadlift is way better. So it's tips like that to help the other person without that ulterior motive.
Yeah.
So that's important.
Yeah,
I think that's something to work on.
Definitely. I mean, if you can read the person and see that they're not going to take it the wrong way.
I feel like men is different though.
Yeah,
I'm a girl's girl, so I'm like, hey girl, can I help? Men is like, what you want, bro? What you want? Mind your business.
I know. I know.
Yeah, they get that pump and the steroids.
Why?
Unless they ask me, then I'll give them my opinion and advice. But other than that,
do you find that people will ask you, or
a lot of the times they do? Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I get asked a lot of the times. Yeah. It's so funny. I went to the gym yesterday with my wife, and there's a guy over there. He knows that I'm a trainer. He knows that I have the program and all that. It's like the second I walk into the gym, his eyes light up.
Aww, because you could just tell happy to see you.
He has like an X amount of questions that he has to ask me, and he just walks around, follows me throughout the gym, like
oh, really?
When am I going to ask him? And it's like he got me yesterday. And I was like, oh, shoot. He came over. And he's like, hey, what's up? How's it going, Steve? And I'm like, pretty good. What's up, dude? And he starts asking me about, like, certain movements and exercises and stuff like that. And then he sat down and he crouched over. And I was like, oh, crap. He's going to be here for a while.
Oh. So that's when it's like, no, I'm working out. Come to my class.
That's a good one. But I think that's why I keep I don't even have music playing. I just have my earbuds in. I never have music playing.
Music.
I had headphones like this, and he was still talking to me.
Really?
Yeah.
No, like I put my earbuds. I don't need to. It distracts me because I need to either count or and I can't because I'll start singing the song. So I don't.
Well, I listen to
interesting.
dubstep. So it's just beats. Like that, because I'll sing. Like when he has music on, I'm like, yeah, and I sing the song and I get distracted. And he's like, let's go.
Oh, so you understand the distraction.
Yeah, I understand the distract. That's the ADHD.
Okay.
Oh, Mark has a video of the
We're going to see this.
Back to the...
All right, so I just want to let everybody know this is a...
It does.
Oh, it's... Okay, good.
I found a better one. All the shit shows. Oh, sorry. I'm the dinger today.
Thank you. Remember, everybody, you're supposed to be counting how many dings you hear for who.
And like and subscribe.
Yeah, and like and subscribe. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, how cool.
Let's see. Maybe
Steve. Get your fucking ass up and work. It seems like nobody wants to work these days. You have to surround yourself with people that want to work. Have a good work environment where everyone loves what they do because you have one life. No toxic work.
All right. So
this is hysterical. Can the viewers watch this too?
Yeah, they can see it. They can see it.
Yeah. I love the motivational speech.
Yeah. I've seen a video where it's Chloe saying, you know, or no, I think it's Kim where she's like, you have to work. Like she's tired of people who don't want to get up and work. But this is like, what is that?
Steve, I want you to break down some of these workouts.
Let's break this down.
Because she's trying to do some type of hip thrust, but her arms are straight.
Well, they're doing single leg step ups on the Bosu, but they're kind of like doing it off balance.
What is that? What was that?
She's trying to do a push up, and adding a push off of it, an incline push up off the bench.
But her elbows aren't bent.
Exactly. She's not doing all of the exercises that they're doing. They're not doing full reps. It's just pulses. Well,
she doesn't even have her core braced on that. Yeah. Like you see her bum moving.
I hope nobody can see my jaw open right now.
But you see what I'm saying? You see what you're looking at? Even though this is a joke, you see this is what a boot camp class looks like from the outside.
Right.
Because the instructor is not paying attention to everyone, right? So he gives you the movements, you get the exercises, and then it's like, all right, go ahead. And no one's really paying attention. So your experience from Ashley's can be completely different.
Right.
I could ask you how the class was, and you'd be like, yeah, it was all right. It was easy. You know, and you could tell somebody that, and then you can go up to Ashley and be like, well, it was amazing. It was so hard, and that's because, she has a higher level of fitness, and also she knows that she has to work a certain intensity, right? Where you're a beginner and you don't really understand something, and you need more attention to detail. But these classes are held by just like you're a number. You walk in, you do the exercise, and that's it, go home. So that's why I needed to change it the way I did. And also, so that I could explain before, when you sign up to my program, I also don't tell you some things that you're going to get there. You're going to be added, depending on the time slot that you sign up, right? Whether it's the 10 a.m. or the 8 p.m., I put you on a group chat with the people that are in your time slot. You're going to know the latest on the class. I give you motivational speaking because I do a little bit of my own, but it's not something that I promote on Instagram or anything like that. That's just for my clients.
Your clients. You have to be a part of it to be a part of it.
I give them exercise information. I give them some homework. I give them nutritional advice. I give them, all the things that you want as a trainer. You get it and you have it in your pocket. You're in a group chat.
Yeah, sometimes we do challenges. Remember the push-up
we do
challenge?
Challenges as well. The push-up, the crunch one. We do a bunch of things. But what happens that people don't understand is they start feeling bad and missing the classes, right when that bug starts to peel off of I want to go to the gym all the time, and they start like something happens, Christmas comes around or something, they miss like a couple of days, and then they start getting lazy. That group chat keeps them in the class. Right. That group chat is the one that goes, hey Ash, we haven't seen you on Wednesday, and we talk that positive-ish.
Nice.
Your arms are looking a little soft, or you'd be like, I love your legs, but you've been off of them for so long. Things like that where that you'll be like, dang, I gotta get to that class.
And
I
also
gotta get there.
you do videos, and that's one of the first things that caught my eye, where he will go into class, and it's never the first round when we look real good. It's always when we're struggling, and he gets those videos, and you get to watch yourself from somebody else's point of view. And that, I feel like that's one of the biggest points in his class, where it's like I get to see what I look like and the progress from day 1 to day 30.
See, this is why I say take a picture.
Yeah, take a picture, take a video. And when we first started back up again, I think it wasn't even 60 days, 90 days, and I posted a before and after, and it was a drastic difference. And I was just like, wow.
Because the class is not easy, and it's not built easy. It's meant
But it's manageable.
Yeah, it's manageable. Definitely. I had a woman, DM me last week, and she was just...
Sorry.
She looks at, most people look at the classes and it's just music playing in the background and you just see people moving. You don't understand that I'm actually going up to everyone in stations, tapping them in certain body parts so you can connect
Explain
better.
that. No. Explain that part. I have a video of it where he would, you'll do something and he'll step behind you and tap it. You feel your muscle pulsate.
Yeah.
Like it goes goom, and he'll tap it again.
So
like
shoulder
pull it
raises,
up.
right? Most people, when they do shoulder raises, I always call it the chicken wings. Don't hunt chicken wings, right? You'll raise right over here. You want to lead with your elbow. So I tell the person to flare out the pinkies and then push out, because then that forces the muscle to get targeted because your elbows are leading now. When you have it down, you're stressing it, and you're not really activating the delt, the medial delt, what we're trying to get.
Ew.
But as you're doing lightweight,
Pinkies out. See, that's a good
But that's
cue.
how he explains every single workout. That's why I say take the class. It's great. But explain the poking.
Yeah, so as you're doing
your
it,
muscle.
as your reps are getting there, I start tapping you in the area. So on the stretch part. So as I'll give you a boundary, you'll hit the boundary, and as you go down, I tap you 2 times or 3 times so that I can send that signal there. And then I'm sending that signal there, and every rep you're connecting more and more and more and more.
Intriguing.
And then eventually that's also mind and muscle, and that's how and I'll do that for everything, right? So if you're doing rows, I'll come over and I'll put pressure on you. It's, I'll put right there, so when you contract, you'll feel my thumb in there, and you'll also feel your muscle get hard. So by the time you release, you're like, okay, I need to feel that again.
Yeah. Okay.
And then that connection happens every single time, and it'll happen with every movement, so that when I'm explaining the exercise and say we're going to be hitting your lower lat, you know where I'm talking about, because I've already targeted it on your body, and you understand what we're going to be hitting. And then also, I'll do other parts like that too as well, or I'll tell you to hold something, a static hold. It's different variations of fitness that I'm having you do. Like you told me core, right? What was that question that you wanted to ask me? 'Cause I wanted to answer that.
Did I say I was going to wait until today to ask it? Because I forgot. No, I know I wanted to.
Sully forgets everything. You gotta catch her at that
have
moment.
a horrible memory. But let me look back at it.
What about core and abs? Those are different.
It is different.
Well, abs are right. It's just the muscle. It's like saying bicep, right? You want a big bicep. Abdominals are what area? Core is your foundation and how you can. It's the.
I did write it down.
It's the trunk of the tree, right? That is your base.
Yeah.
You need to have a strong core in order to have big branches.
So I noticed when I started working on core. Remember, I always had back issues. So when I started working on my core, my back issues went away, but that slim waist that I had disappeared.
Yeah, well, it's also it depends
like the curve
on,
that went in disappeared, so now my body's a little bit more straighter, but my core, my back doesn't hurt anymore.
Right.
So of course I prefer that.
Also, then do more back exercise. That'll give the illusion
I need
of slimming. All right, so this is what thank God I wrote this down. So I wrote to him to follow up on core, so I don't forget. I feel like core, not abs, is a central part of every successful exercise. I have found myself strengthening my exercises now that my core is getting stronger.
Okay.
And I feel like even everything that you've talked about, like even, the lateral raises, if my core didn't have, and I'm not saying, like, I feel like I know, even talking right now, I'm bracing my core because I want to be able to get that up, and I want to isolate that muscle, and I'm not, because I'll be using the wrong muscles if I'm trying to do this and I can't. You know what I'm saying?
So core has to be braced in every single workout.
It's
Even
very
walking?
important. Yeah, you use your core for everything. You use your core like when you get up. The first thing that you do is you sit up, right? So you're not only stabilizing yourself. You know, you're crunching. I mean, those are your abdominals, but your core is what keeps you standing up straight, whether you're hunched over or not. That is core. You know. Going upstairs, doing everything has involvement with core. So when you build that up, and there's certain exercises I can test to see how strong your foundation is, right? Like have you balance and squat on a Bosu. If your legs are shaking, legs are shaking like crazy, that means you don't have those little static muscles and your lower abdominals to hold your legs stable.
Right.
And that's why your squat is weak. That's why you can't do certain movements. That's why abdominals hurt. That's why you're always complaining about your lower back hurting. That's all, you know, all those things. So when you get that out of the way and you strengthen those muscles, I mean, there's so much more. Like and not only core, it's just you know, just certain for most men don't work out lower body. You know, don't do lower body because
Did you do legs, bro?
Chicken legs.
You don't even do legs.
You don't do legs.
you know, and those guys always ask, how can I get a little bit bigger? Because they've maximized their potential because they haven't worked out their legs. The foundation of what's holding up that size hasn't been even touched. And if they start doing legs, it's just going to get even bigger because now you have a bigger trunk to hold more weight, you know? And that's the thing people don't understand. But core is the foundation of everything. You need to have abdominals in order to succeed in every single part of the body.
I was gonna, but when you're working with a new client, so that's the one thing you want to teach first then is core.
When we do planks, right? I always teach planks, and I always teach them how to, and it doesn't matter your body weight or anything, there's ways to do it. And we always do that. And I even have Wednesday is a complete ab day. It's gonna hurt to laugh when you leave.
We've done that. We're like, don't make me laugh.
It hurts today.
Yeah.
I love that though, because you don't realize. So I remember when I first started doing this, I used to despise core ab day because I don't want to do a crunch. I don't want to do a sit up.
Yeah.
And I didn't think it was going to do anything for me because I have like this apron of skin hanging. I can't tell you, like, I do have some photos and I'm not comfortable, like, but I've shown them to Ash where my waist has gotten slimmer because of the core exercises.
And you see the muscle peeking through.
Yeah.
I remember those where I'm like, wow.
And then also your breathing is going to get better too from having a strong, you know, core.
And it started, to be honest, the very first sit-up I did was a yoga sit-up. So I literally
What's a yoga sit-up?
So I'm laying
on the ball?
flat. No, I'm laying flat on the ground. My arms are above my head like this, and then I'm just literally lifting my entire upper body to touch my toes. So it's like literally going like this.
See, I wouldn't be able to do that because, well, back then, because of my back. Like
that was the easiest. That was the first one. Now I could do Russian twist. Like I'm very proud of my Russian twist. Like I'm holding myself up at a nice angle. My feet are in the air, and I'm going back and forth. So these are all things that, like, when I first started, and I do video everything. So I am going to make an ab video where you could see I'm struggling with a crunch, or I couldn't even get off the floor. And I have my lazy days when I don't want to do it, you know. So my Russian twist will still be, you know, everything, the whole
Definitely
body.
do them in the beginning of your day of working out because most people leave for the end.
So you
and
start
then
with
it's
core?
usually, yeah, definitely. And that's why when I do the class, it's just a class of arms and core. You know, small muscles, but we're gonna hit them the whole class. So there's no running away from it. You know, and you have to. You know, you're gonna get that once a week, and that builds the foundation of what you're going to end up learning in the program once you're in it and understand it, and you'll see it. And that's why I also, like, someone said to me the other day, why don't you ask them for contracts or do that? And I said, I don't believe in contracts. I don't believe in locking someone down into something that they don't like.
Well, that creates an automatic, I have to do this, as opposed to I want to do this.
Yeah, but I believe what I give you with the amount of knowledge that I give you, with the understanding of what we're doing, and then also the village that you get from the group of people that are also involved in it, you're really not going to find that anywhere.
Right.
You're really not going to find that anywhere.
The community is a huge part.
The community is a big part.
And even if
It's
you
a big
do
part.
leave, I always come back, you know, because
Yeah.
I did leave to do my own thing for a little bit, you know, and it was more, it's not because of I needed to leave. It was the distance that it took to go to the class of the gym he was at that point to work. And I was like, listen, it's not making sense. The gym that I go to is down the street from my job. So it's just, it was unfortunate. And I missed the classes, but he gave me enough knowledge to be confident to do it on my own. And I did it for a year, right? It's been a year and a half. You know, I didn't fall off. I think this was the first year that I fell off during the wintertime. And I was like, oh no, I need Steve. I need Stice.
And I tell everyone, you know, like, once you know me, you're never not going to know me.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like I don't have anything where if you stop taking the class and you go and join another gym or join another class, I'm happy for you because you're still doing it. I'm not going to get upset that you're not doing my classes. That's, you know, that's a part of life. We're going to go separate ways and stuff like that. I just want you to continue doing this because I'm telling you, you're going to get better. You're going to live longer. You're going to feel better. You're going to be a better person in whatever you do in life. And I think that it's so important that we educate people on that, you know, that's not given right now is health and fitness and how to do it right, because there's so many benefits from it, you know, as far as like not getting sick all the time and all these little things that, you know, people discover on their own journey, but it takes longer. And I'm just trying to educate people faster instead of later, you know.
So what would you tell the beginners out there now? The people that they want to try, but they're too afraid, or just what kind of motivational to come take your class? You know, like what would be your best piece of advice? Because we're veterans at this point when it comes to working out. But I'm trying to remember that first, because I know I'm bringing my friends and family to the classes, and they're like timid, where it's like, and I'm like, no, just trust me. But not everybody has that person saying, let's just go. So what would you tell that person that's on their couch watching this, wanting
like
to
I
do
tell
it, but
everyone,
not having that motivation or inspiration?
You gotta, well, I want to give them something motivational, but to be honest, it's like I can't force anyone to do something that they don't want to do. But you got to ask yourself, you know, do you really want to change your life? And I mean, really want to change your life, not just physically, right? It's so much more than that. It's when I tell you, like, the amount of stuff that I can do now, it's incredible. And that's not to brag or anything. And that all started from me getting so into fitness and all that. And for the average person that's sitting on the couch, like, bro, or
Or
man, or, you know, whatever it is,
Dude or
you
dudette.
have no idea how talented you are, and you're just letting yourself sit there and wait. And by the time that you decide to come to class or do the gym, you're going to be upset that you didn't start earlier because
that's the only
now you
regret.
discovered something that you could have had for so many years,
Yeah.
and you've been sitting there not doing nothing about it. And for me, it's just like, you know, it's never too late. You're right. It's never too late. But when you start late, it kind of sucks finding out that you could have done all this so much
Years
longer.
ago, yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, that's a big one.
But I agree. They have to be ready. I had to be ready.
Yeah.
That my only regret is that I wish I had started sooner, but I had to be ready.
It's that
I'm
life
ready
or
now.
death situation,
Yeah,
right?
I'm ready
And that's
now.
really and back to that. Like, what I don't put on my video on the videos that I have is sometimes I'll pause the music or lower the music, and I tell them, I said, look, I don't mean this or try to be like crazy or anything, like, but you got to look at it this way. If you don't get these last 15 reps or anything, they're going to take your family. And that's how you have to look at it. Now, I'm not saying that that's the right way. I'm just saying I got to give you a kind of like, fight or flight, you know, like somewhere, somehow I'm going to get these reps because my family's in danger. And you got to put your mentality there. It's, you know, for some people, they need that, you know, for me, I needed that when I was dying, right? I needed to put myself in that mental space where it's like, no, I'm going to do this. And I got to get to that place where I'm going to do that. And that's really where there's so many more answers.
Yeah.
All right. So I have a question just to segue perfectly from that. So I'm the complainer in the gym. Like, I complain, like, really. Now I am. And I'm okay with that because they know that I'm still going to do what I got to do. But how do you deal with clients that, I don't know, are naysayers? They'd be like, no, I can't do that. Like, I'm not allowed to say the word I can't do in my gym.
I joke with them, to be honest. There's clients like that you know, show up late or complain or don't like a certain exercise. That exercise happens tomorrow.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, we're doing that all day tomorrow.
and they will end with that exercise too. They get to choose where they start. They don't get to choose where they end. But I watch that person and I'm like, they're gonna end up where I want them to end up. And when they do, it's like, you know, eventually I get the complaints all the time. Most people tell me, oh, they don't want to do burpees or they don't want to do the bike. Or they don't want to do, you know, because it's so tough. Or some people will use it as their break time. They'll get on the bike and you could see them that they go slower.
But that assault bike, that makes me go slower.
But I love stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love stuff like that because I also do a thing where I go behind the scenes, right? And I talk crap to them.
Yeah.
And I call them out right on camera.
So I love that. I loved that camaraderie right there because it humanizes both you and me, and we're obviously in two different levels. And I love that my coaches don't allow me to feel sorry for, like, they're like, oh, poor baby.
But here's a question for you, right?
Okay.
So you're the complainer.
Yeah.
Now, if your coach, like, so let's say you're doing, I don't know, squats, right? And you're complaining about the squats and stuff like that. The second your coach turns on his camera and puts it on you, you're not complaining anymore.
No.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're doing those reps because you gotta look good on camera.
Oh, I have a perfect video. I was literally in the middle of abs, and I'm laying on the ground, and I had my face covered, and I didn't realize he was recording me. He's like, "What was that again?" I was like, "I'm not," and then I was like, I saw it.
People get muscles out of nowhere when the camera turns on them. You know, sometimes I don't even have it recording.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just the phone facing you.
So
you
the
know?
other day he was behind somewhere in the room, and I thought I was King Kong over here. I picked up a 30-pound ball. We had the resistance band, and you have to squat and walk across. So I'm like, F that, and I toss the ball, and you hear him go, hey, pick it up, you can do this. I'm like, and I had to pick it up and finish.
With the ball in between your legs?
No, you're holding the ball. You have the
okay.
resistance band on your legs. You're squatting, and you're going
the crab walk.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I was tired. He made me finish.
And you know what I love?
So he watches.
I do, and I love when I always tell the people that have done the class and have been doing it for weeks and months and all that, right? Because they don't see improvement on themselves. Because when you do something for so long, you don't see the little changes that are happening. I do, but you don't, and then your family and friends do, but they get to see that when a new person walks into the class.
Yeah.
And then they see how in shape they are, and then they're like, "Oh crap, I'm in real good shape." Because when that new person doesn't have to be a beginner. That new person can be an experienced person. And like for instance, I rent two time slots where I'm at. It's a CrossFit gym, and they also have classes there which are great and stuff like that. But there's people in those classes that wanted to take my class, right? And then and I've had other people, like for instance, a runner that wanted to take my class, and so their endurance is a lot larger than the average person that does my class, but they haven't been taught in that style. They don't know about, we only have 35 seconds of rest and we run the whole hour, you know, and it's a minute on, and then it's this certain body parts. They haven't stressed their body in one or two muscles for a whole hour, you know, so they're not used to that style, but they think so because they're in shape and they do CrossFit or they do this. And so I love it because I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And I also tell my members, I said, now pay attention when that new person walks in, and then you'll see, right? And that's the thing that most people that athletic, they see the class from the outside and they're like, nah, I could do that. But when they do it, they're the ones throwing up. Yeah. They're the ones leaving early. And they're the ones not understanding how is it that they're all like this. And it's like, well, you know, before those physical changes happen, other changes happen. Right. And then that's when they start seeing, oh crap, like, I'm in shape. And if I continue doing this and
that's a great
put
feeling.
a little bit more effort into it, I can be incredible. You know, because if he can't do it and I can do it, sky's the limit. You know, and it really is like that. So I love it when they see it for themselves, how good in shape they are for themselves when someone new walks in. And like I said, I had those 3 CrossFit ladies. They're in great shape. They did Thursday, and they took the class, and I had one of them come up to me after the class, and they're like, wow, this class is really hard. What she said to me. And I said, yeah. She's like, okay. She now wants to try the other classes.
Nice.
Okay, all right. You know, because I usually tell people to come in on a Monday so that they can get a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
Don't ever bring your friend
Full body, yeah.
on a Thursday.
Where
'cause
you're
that's
just
not your
isolating,
friend.
yeah.
That's not your friend.
That's not your friend. Well, we obviously could still talk for the rest of the day because it's something we're passionate about. But I think our time is about to be at 11:11. So I just want to say thank you so much for coming
Thank
on.
you.
Yeah. Super happy to have you here.
Thank you for having me here and allowing me to really explain what my program's about. And yeah.
Do you want to tell people where they could find you, your classes,
You
and
can,
details?
definitely. So my classes are at Elevation CrossFit. It's in Lodi. And that's, I have 2 classes. First one's at 10 a.m. and then the second one's at 8 p.m. They run Monday through Thursday. Mondays are all body. Tuesdays are chest and back. Wednesdays are arms and abs. And Thursdays is leg day. And I mean, I don't want to give prices over here anyway, but let me tell you something. You're never going to find anything like it.
Yeah.
And that's not to be cocky. It's just because I love what I do. I love this. And I'm not doing it to get rich or anything like that. I do it because I really do want to help people. And if I can help as many as possible, that's what I'm trying to do. So yeah, I say if anyone wants to try it out, should come in on a Monday and really check it out so you get a little bit of everything. And you'll see what I'm about.
And we'll have his social media handles in our bio for today's episode as well.
Yes.
So
Thank
that
you.
was a great conversation.
Awesome. I know, we could keep talking.
We could keep talking.
Yeah,
We probably will after we say goodbye to you
Yeah.
guys. We probably will. But so that was another episode. Don't forget to tune in next time. We have another great guest coming on. So
Yes.
thank you to Ash. Thank you to Steve for coming
Yeah.
in.
Thank you.
All right.
This is Bravely Fit.
We are Bravely Fit.
We are Bravely
We are
Fit.
Bravely
Yes.
Fit. Have a great one, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
And there was a couple questions I didn't get to that we wanted to, but